Hey friend, a quick update for you. My website is officially live. I'm so excited. You can check it out at reneemat.com. And my name is spelled a little bit different, so people get hung up on it sometimes, but it's Renae. And I'll make sure the link is in the show notes in case you need to just click that and get to the website. But this website is where you're going to find all the things that I talk about here on the podcast. Plus, I've officially opened the wait list for my upcoming course. So, if you've been wanting some extra support to finally get those 5 foundational routines working for real life, you'll definitely want to get on that list so that you are the first to know when doors open. The new website is going to be your go to spot to learn more about me, check out those resources I mentioned on the podcast, and get that support if you're ready to create routines and systems that actually work for real life. So when you're done listening, head to reneemat.com, take a look around, pop your name on that wait list. I cannot wait for you to see it. Do you ever feel like no matter how many times you repeat your home routine, there are still areas that are getting neglected? Everything seems to pile up on our to do list faster than we can cross them off, and this feeling can be incredibly overwhelming. So, it's important to have a system that not only helps you feel more organized, but it's also effective so that you can actually get things done without feeling completely burned out. So, that is what we are talking about today. Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renae Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast. This is going to be an episode that I think so many of us can benefit from because we are trying to do so many things. And it doesn't really matter how you are organizing them. There are a lot of things that you are responsible for, whether it is household, it's outdoors, it's in your garden, it is with work, it's, just anything that is your responsibility to get things done. You are probably putting them into a list. And when we're thinking about so many things, if we don't have a go to system to organize all of these things to do, it just feels like we are constantly trying to keep up with a to do list that is never ending. We cannot complete things faster than we're putting them on the list. And it's really hard to feel like you're accomplishing something if it never seems to get done. And we can really burn ourselves out if we're not careful, if we don't have a system to keep things organized and understand that we can't do everything all at once, but we need to have a plan to get to it that we're comfortable with. The idea to touch on this in an episode came because we had a question come through anonymously in our Facebook community, which you can go to at theroutineadvantagecommunity.com if you want to join us. But we have a Facebook community where people can gather and share ideas or ask questions and just get some clarity and support as we're going through these things. And it's a free community. And we had a question come through that was, how do you schedule in tasks that don't fall into the daily 7 but need to be done more often than once per month? For example, cleaning the bathtub. That's something I definitely don't want to do every day, but I also don't want to start a whole bunch of stuff that has to get done on Saturdays either, now that I have come away from Saturday cleaning day. So, first of all, I love that she has gotten away, or I'm assuming this is a she, but I love that she's gotten away from the Saturday cleaning days because I talk about that a lot. Like we push things off for so long to just catch up on everything on Saturday, but it just stops being done throughout the week and we push it off to Saturday, well, then we spend our entire Saturday cleaning and trying to catch up on laundry, and we're exhausted by the end of the night, and we've wasted half of our weekend when really we can just start putting routines, simple routines, in place throughout the week and then have our Saturdays back to actually enjoy and spend time with people we love and do some fun things on the weekends. So I love that they are getting away from the Saturday cleaning day, and that just makes me happy. But when we are looking at trying to get tasks or systems or routines in place, we really want to ask ourselves, is it simple enough to maintain long term? And this is why I talk about the 5 foundational routines. I think it's super important to get those 5 in place before anything else because they apply to everyone and it gives you a very simple default routine. So what she's talking about when she said the that she doesn't when you schedule tasks in that don't fall into the daily 7. So, if you are new here, the third routine in my 5 foundational routines is something called a daily 7 home routine. And we're going to touch on that because I have 3 big tips for you to help you organize household tasks without getting overwhelmed, and we're going to go through this system. So, like I said, we need to have simple systems in place, but we need to make sure that they are sustainable long term. And what I have found works really, really well for me has come through a whole lot of trial and error. And this is what has stuck for the longest, and it works really well because it feels organized and it feels like you have some control here. So, the first big tip is to stick to your daily 7 home routine. So, this one is that routine that is the third routine in the 5 foundational routines about getting you a default home routine so that you can reset your home in 30 minutes or less every day. So when you're building this routine, and if you need help building it, you can go back to episode 136 is going to help give you an idea of what that is. But what we're looking at is having 7 like top priority tasks that you repeat in the same pattern every day. And this is going to help you to reduce any distractions of getting sidetracked when you're cleaning. It helps you just really hone in and focus on those top priority tasks that you are doing. And you repeat them daily so you get really fast, you get really effective with it, and you don't have to think about it so much. It just becomes something that you do, and that is what is going to help you just maintain a tidy home in 30 minutes or less a day. So that is your daily 7 home routine. And that makes it really easy to just move day to day and feel like you have some control over the state of your home. But like she mentioned, that there are a lot more things that we have on our plates outside of those 7 daily tasks. So, what do we do with all of these other tasks? And that is where your big tip number 2 comes in. So, this one is to make sure you have created your annual task list. And this one, you can go to episode 48 to learn more about that if you have not done so yet. But the annual task list is where we take all of those other tasks that need to be done and need to get organized, and we put them into a list. And I walk you through in that episode how to break it down and do the columns and spread them out throughout the year and everything like that so that you have your entire list of what needs to be done throughout the year. And as you think of things that you may have forgotten, you add them to this list and get them organized in one spot. And with doing it this way, everything that you need to do is covered between the daily 7 and the annual task list. So when you're looking at your annual task list, this is anything from, like cleaning that bathtub to washing your drapes and curtains to cleaning your washing machine drum or cleaning the dishwasher filters or weeding the gardens or anything that needs to be done throughout your home. Maybe it's changing air filters or getting an oil change in your car. It's all these other tasks that build up. We need to get a system to organize them so we can stop thinking about them because we have a plan. And when you have these two routines and systems, they work together simultaneously and they work so well together because you can stop thinking about this giant to do list because you already have it planned out and you know when it needs to be done. So, once you do that, then you come to the big tip number 3 to create this system to organize all of these tasks without getting overwhelmed is you number 3, you plan your week using priority tasks. Now, we're keeping this system simple because your daily 7 is just repeatable daily. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to write it. I mean, you might have to write it down in the beginning, but once you have it down, you don't have to check it off a list or anything like that. When it's time to do your daily 7, you just do it and you go through the motions because it is done as quickly as possible in 30 minutes or less, and you repeat those tasks. So that's done. And then you've got your annual task list, which helps you feel organized because you have written everything down and you have a plan and you have it actually scheduled with the actual month that it needs to be completed. However, like she said, there are sometimes there are tasks that need to be done more than once a month. And when you do that, that's totally fine. You can definitely do that. So maybe put a note on your annual task list that when, it's marked off to do, that it needs to be done twice a month or it needs to be done every week or something to the effect that when you are writing down all the things that need to be done, you can hear or you can see that for your priority tasks. Because when you are planning out your week, I want you to imagine sitting down and looking at your week ahead and you know exactly when you are going to be doing your daily 7 home routine because you have it plugged in on your calendar. Okay? So you're creating that day stack and you're plugging in when it's going to work best that day to complete your daily 7 home routine. Maybe it's in the morning every single day and that works great for you. Then great. But if your schedule it kind of bounces around a little bit, that is also okay because you can look at your schedule and plug in when it's going to work best for you that day. So maybe on some days you're completing your daily 7 home routine in the morning because your schedule isn't the same every day. And then on other days, you're doing it after lunch. And then on other days, maybe you're doing it right before you get dinner on the table and you're just running through your house to quickly reset everything to get dinner on the table so then you can relax in the evening. It's totally up to you and how your life flows, but you can plug in when you're doing those daily 7 or that daily 7 home routine. And while you're looking at your week, I want you to just kind of if unless you're driving, close your eyes and think about this as you are looking at your entire week span and you have all of your responsibilities plugged into your week, and you've got your 5 foundational routines plugged into your week. You know exactly when you need to be doing these things. If something comes up, you can just restack your day because you don't have to skip these things. You just reorganize how your day is going to flow to make it work better for your life because that is what is going to build the consistency is that we are not skipping these things. We're simply just maneuvering where they need to go to make it work better until we find a system that works well for us. But as we're looking at this, we also have all of these other tasks that we're thinking about. Like, when are we going to get these done? So instead, I want you to look at your annual task list, and you're going to see a whole lot of things that need to be done that month. So when you go to your annual task list and say there are 20 different things that need to be done that month, some of them are being done just once that month. Some of them have a note that they need to be done, twice a month. And when you're looking at that, when you are planning out your week, you need to plan when you're going to do your priority tasks. Now, there are some weeks where I schedule specific priority tasks throughout my week where I know exactly what I'm doing on a certain day and I have to get that task done on, Monday at 6 p.m. I have to do that task. Or I just have a list of these priority tasks. And when I have a little gap throughout my week, I focus on trying to get my priority tasks done as early as I can in the beginning of the week. Because what I'm doing is I'm looking at my annual task list and I'm pulling 3 to 5 priorities that I want to focus on this week. Now, some weeks I might have more, but if I take more than 5, I won't get any of them done because it's going to feel too overwhelming. I just know that about myself. So even if I'm feeling like really motivated and I'm like, I can get a lot of stuff done this week. I'm going to give myself 10 things and I've got a whole list of things I want to work on. Well, I get into the week and I start feeling that pressure and I start feeling overwhelmed. And all of a sudden, it's Friday and I haven't done anything off my list because it just feels like too much to tackle. But on the weeks that I focus on just picking 3, like I just want to pick 3 things that I really want to prioritize, and that's what I want to get done this week. A lot of times I have them done by Monday or Tuesday. And so then it's like, okay, I can make a decision at that point. Do I want to add, maybe 2 or 3 more priority tasks to my list because I've already done my first ones? Do I need a couple more? Or am I okay finishing out my week with having these priority tasks done because it's better than getting nothing done? And you have to decide what works best for you. And this is also going to play into what actually is on your list and how many things need to get done each month. But when you are looking at that annual task list and you're pulling your priority tasks for the week, this is a good time to look at if the bathtub does need to be scrubbed this week, then that can be one of your priority tasks. And say your other one is that you need to wash the living room rug or shampoo the rug, however, your rug. Ours goes ours actually rips up and goes straight into the washing machine, but sometimes you can't do that with a big rug, like a big area rug. So maybe you have to shampoo it. Maybe that's your second priority task. And then maybe your third priority task is to wash all of the windows on your main level. Okay, so these are the three things. These are your focuses for this week. Now you have to decide, does your brain work better to just have these three things listed on the side of your planner or on the side of your calendar to say, okay, when I get a gap and I have a little bit of free time, I'm going to look at that and I'm going to go and do one and I'm going to complete it and get it off the list. Even if it's just washing the windows in one room to start, because I have 10 minutes, I'm going to go wash those windows real quick. And then, maybe you have another 10 or 20 minutes the next day and you're going to get a little bit further. And by the end of the week, you have all of the windows washed. Or does your brain work better so that you can say, if I'm washing all the main level windows, I just need to get it done in one go. I need to schedule this in so I block time out for it because that's what works better for me. I'm going to say on, you know, uh, Wednesday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. That is my task. I'm going to take two full hours to just block it off and go through and wash all of the windows on the main level. And that is how I'm going to get that priority task done because that's the way my brain works better. So you have to decide and you have to test what works for you. And just because something doesn't work, try something else. That doesn't mean you're failing. Just tweak it until you find how your brain does work. Because you will notice on the times that it feels really good to get it done. And you'll notice the times that you feel that like wrench in your gut where it's like, oh, I didn't do it again. Well, if you're not doing it repeatedly over and over, let's tweak something and try something else because we need to figure out how we can do it without motivation because we aren't going to have motivation all the time, but we need to figure out how we can do it out of just the having the plan and having the stability and the system in place to do it even if we don't feel motivated. So we need to figure out what we can do and how our brains work as we're pulling those priority tasks. So when we're looking at that, we're taking those priority tasks from the annual task list, we're plugging them in however it works for us, whether it's the list or actually scheduling time in, or maybe you're even plugging time in where it's a block of time where it just says priority tasks and you just need to focus on what you are wanting to focus on at that time. Maybe it's not scheduling in the specific task, but you're just giving yourself a block of time to focus on any priority task on your list. And at that point, when you start doing this, then you get that week done and you move into the next week and you pull a few more from that list for the month. And when you divide it up like this, you get to the end of the month and all of a sudden you realize that you have all of your tasks from that month all completed and you can move into the new month. So it's not this giant list of focusing on everything that needs to be done. It's only focusing on those priority tasks for that specific week. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have some weeks where you're focusing on just those three tasks, and that is all you can do because your week is crazy and slammed. And getting those three things done is going to feel really good, and you're going to feel really accomplished. And then there are going to be other weeks where you feel amazing. You get the first three done and you're like, that's good. I can slam out three more. And then you pull another three and you focus on those and you get through those. And you might even find that you are like crashing through and you get 10 things from your priority task list done in 1 week. And that's awesome. That's amazing. It's a great week. And then the next week, maybe you feel like, okay, it's another week where I can only do three, and that's okay too. because you're going to have to go with how your body flows and how your mood and your hormones, like everything plays into this. But if you can commit to doing at least 3, you are going to continue making progress, and you're going to build up your endurance and your commitment to actually following through with the things that you are planning, and it's going to feel more doable. So, those are my 3 big tips to create a system to keep you organized with all of your tasks without getting overwhelmed, because that is the big thing, is being able to organize everything, have a system, have a plan, not feel overwhelmed so that it can be sustainable long term. We want to put routines into place that it's not overwhelming to maintain a routine. If it's overwhelming to maintain a routine, then it's not going to work long term. We need to make sure that it stays simple so that it stays effective. So, a really quick recap for you of those 3 big tips to help you organize your tasks without getting overwhelmed is number 1, stick to your daily 7 home routine. And episode 136 will help you create that. Tip number 2 is to create your annual task list. Episode 48 is going to help you do that. And like I said, if you need to complete something more than once a month, then just make a little note on your annual task list and you've got it. And then your final big tip number 3 is to plan your week and use priority tasks. And your priority tasks are covered in episode 104 if you want to go back and take a look at that. But you get to choose what is most important to tackle each week. And that is what is going to fit best in your schedule based on your particular week. And that is what I love about keeping these systems simple, because they can remain effective without getting overwhelming. And it is completely customized to you and the flow of your life and your personal priorities. So you're not following somebody else's system, you're creating a system for you that actually works long term. So I hope that you loved this episode. If you've been listening for a while and you want to leave a rating or review, I would absolutely love for you to do that, and it would be so appreciated. You can go into your podcast app, especially Spotify and Apple Podcasts. They also they allow you to actually write a written review as well. And I would love to hear from you. If you want to leave 5 stars, that would be great. Um, but if you also want to leave a written review, I would love to hear about what you're loving about the show and how it's helping you. And it also helps to push it out to more people that are looking for podcasts and they want to read reviews from other people as well that are listening and actually putting these things into action and getting some results. So I would love to hear from you if you want to take some time to do that. Otherwise, I will catch you back here on the next episode. Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.